And it is a Friday evening and tremendous chaos out there, guys. Just insane. All right. Anyway, sorry if chaos is hitting your doorstep out there. I have had a share of my own, but we will continue going on. That's sort of the mark of the 88 portal. And this year it's an 888 portal. So it's because when you add up all the numbers, August 8th, 8, 8, and then 2026. So I am looking to see what message we have. I know that there are a lot of astrologers out there and numerology experts that are talking about this gateway and what's going to happen. A gateway or a portal is sort of like an energy opener, and you can feel it in if you open yourself up to it. You can sort of feel what the energy is sort of interweaving with human energy, and we're able to tap into it, sort of like a battery pack, or if we, and some people actually get it where they get headaches, because there's so much energy, it's overwhelming. Um, but I think if we look at various other times where portals have opened, okay, and I'm not talking about like a television series or some sort of gateway that you see that opens up like in anime. I'm talking about like energy fields that you can tap into where it is amplified beyond. And this one deals with sort of that Leo energy. So it deals with the ego, it deals with the self, it deals with your own sense of confidence, your own light source. And when you find yourself in contact with that type of energy field and that type of light source, it can be overwhelming. You can experience headaches, or you might get sick, or overheated, or disoriented. But most of the time, if you know what you're dealing with, it's you plug into it, and you plug into that light source, that light energy. And this one deals with 888. To me, that's a 24. So, I look at that as a 24. So it's bringing a lot of love vibration, like healing through love versus another portal. It's sort of love and kindness and the human spirit and connection with others. It's sort of, tuning into that higher frequency allows you to step out of your own cycles for about 2 seconds so that you can do some work over here. So 888, that portal tomorrow is the height of it. Now, this is 4 days before the solar eclipse that's coming, and this one is big, this one is huge. And what this portal is doing, this Lionsgate portal, is it's opening up if your ego was out of balance, if the ego or the self was misaligned, if the ego or the self was feeding into a path that would take you into a darker path, or the ego or the self to actually create something and to tap into your higher self, your higher energies, so that you're able to create at peak levels. So that's what it means to me. When you have a gateway or a portal opening, it's not something like you step into it and surrender. It's not even that to me. To me, it means as a psychic, as an intuitive, that it's a way to recharge. And all this hell that we've been going through for the past, like I'd have to say it's about the past 50 years for a lot of people. The past 50 years, within that time frame, so much has happened and so much growth, but also adjustment, growth and ascension, growth and greed. The problem with growth is if you grow too fast, you think that you are invincible, that nothing can break you, that you are beyond rules and you can do whatever you want because you have certain knowledge and you know the codes, the coding, the ancient codes. You know these codes, so you think, oh, I know them, so I'm superior to others. And that's the thing. You need others to come in and assist you with various elements, filling in those pockets, because otherwise you go through this portal, you will have holes in your aura if that ego is misaligned, if that ego is out of balance or on a trajectory that is serving only the ego. That's where the problem is. When the ego is overfed, it's destructive. And you have to find that very fine balance, that fine tuning with that frequency in order to utilize the energy that this particular portal has. Now, a lot of people are getting information and downloading through dreams. They're downloading through psychic work, through a sense of euphoria, and people are accessing the codes this way. And they're tapping into like a higher frequency and they're obtaining codes. The problem with obtaining codes is you have to be responsible enough to know what to do with them. You could have all the codes, you could know all the codes, you could find yourself in a position to really do something, really accomplish a lot, really contribute to the Akashic records and to humanity and to the collective consciousness. You could find yourself doing this, but the caveat being you have to be really careful you don't collapse into an egocentric mode while you're doing it. You have to make sure that you reach out and that your energy is always pointed at others. This knowledge, this data, this energy, this love, this growth, all of this is about connection. So this year it's even more amplified because it's an 888 year with August 8th, 2026. If you look at the numbers 882026 and you add everything up and you find yourself with 888 as the number. 8 equals infinity. 8 is a number of wealth, a number of manifestation, a number of primarily taking energy and multiplying it upon itself. Okay, that's kind of how I see that. I'm going to look at my cards here and tap into my psychic senses and just see what this year, this 888 portal, is going to bring. Let me just see what this year will represent for everybody as far as manifestation, dreams, dream work, wealth in one way or another. Let me just see what's happening. What is the message for this Lionsgate portal for 2026? What is the message that is coming forward? Okay. All right, we are transitioning, guys. The message that I'm getting is about not only transitioning, but allowing yourself to shed all of those layers that you don't need anymore, all of those things you don't need anymore to be who you are. You know, whether this is a job or a relationship or a marriage or a career or the location you live or whatever it is that's not working, that's not fulfilling you, that is causing a sense of disappointment, let down. You find yourself not creating anything, but in a more of a destructive phase. Well, that's telling you the universe is giving you sort of that message that you should move on from those things that are causing you to self-destruct. You know, with the ego, you have to make sure that the balance is correct for the 888 portal. If you are going to tap into that energy source, which is great, it has not only data, but it has like an infusion that will happen where you can go into the next part of your journey infused with all this brand new energy, ideas, creativity. You'll know what to do with it. The fear that was holding you down, the fear that was causing you to stop working on yourself, that will be put aside. You'll leave that behind. And this is you stepping into it. You're just going to go for it. You're just going to go for it. I do see this transition though, and this is the message that is coming forward, that you need to allow yourself. You don't throw away the baby with the bathwater, okay? You don't throw away everything. You throw away the things that that no longer have life in them, that belong to another life, that belong somewhere else, that no longer have the ability to grow or manifest anything. You know, there's a lot of untapped energy in some of your projects. Well, you don't throw away all of them for this. You throw away the ones that don't resonate with this new path, this new light source, this new energy field. And all you're going to do is you're going to open up yourself, your chakras, you're going to open up your energy fields to ask the universe to align you with the correct things. You are ready now. Basically, the 888 portal this year is telling you you're ready. You are ready. And any fears that existed before were, fear has a place sometimes. Fear can help you move from one place to another, or actually cause movement, cause you to reflect more. But you know, at this point, fear really isn't part of the deal. We're here at the portal. You need to step through. And if you find yourself dragging all this stuff with you, that's the point where the message is start taking stock of what you're bringing with you. Do you really need that? You know, to go to your next part of the journey? Do you really need it? Ask yourself on each item, each element, each person, each situation. Do you need that with you as you cross through the portal? And this eclipse is going to launch it. This eclipse is huge, guys. On the 12th, this will actually illuminate a lot of nonsense out there, a lot of treachery, karmic debt will, I mean, karmic debt is going to come flying in there, and people aren't prepared. I don't think anybody's prepared for how massive that's going to be. When they talk about instant karma, that it happens within the same lifetime in a very short amount of time from when it was first incurred, and then instant karma happens and it comes back. It's not that you get paid back, and karma isn't always about suffering. You know, they're going to deliver fire and brimstone, and you're going to be cast down. And that's not karma. Karma is actually the tool that is used to get you to learn that lesson. So if you receive karma, it has a purpose. It's to unlock what you should have done in the first place, something you should have paid attention to in the first place, a path you should have been on in the first place. It's sort of like a turnkey thing. Karma is the mirror image of what you should have done versus what you did do. And that's what karma is when it's released upon you. It's a mirror that's put right up to you, and you see where you need to make the adjustments, and then you finally learn how to do that lesson correctly. And that's what that means. It's a mirroring device. Karma is something that comes in not to punish, like I said. It's not to punish you. It's not to place you in some self-imposed prison where you remain for the rest of your days. No, that would be wasteful. You would waste that opportunity. What karma is it comes in, and it's where you perhaps took shortcuts, or you threw people under the bus in order to get something for yourself, or you found that you were combative and you were hurting people along the path there, that instead of paying attention to your path, you were just harming other people for whatever reason, because you just didn't want to face getting on that path. And so what the karma does, when that's instant karma and it comes back on the path and you are having this mirrored to you, all it's doing is illuminating the parts that you need to tweak and you need to correct, that you didn't do right the first time. Nobody's punishing anybody. There's no punishment here. There's only correction of course. That's all. It's correcting the course. It's correcting the balance. It's mechanical, guys. It's not this emotional, oh, I'm being punished because of da da da. No, you're not being punished. That's not what karma is. Karma is a teaching tool. It is a learning tool. It is a tool for ascension, so that you can grow and you can actually do the path the way that you would do it, not how someone else would do it, but how you would do it. And nobody's taking away your individuality with that. But what's happening is you're not going to get to do the shortcuts you did before. So you got to fill it in now. You got to fill it in with the proper, every step in its place, that whole thing. The 888 portal will be aligned in such a fashion. If there is karma, and karma comes to each one of us, trust me. But if you are the giver of karma, you're incurring karma, think about it before you do it. Because the other side of it is it gets mirrored to you, and then it's going to be extra hard for you to fill in all those spaces to correct that balance, to correct that karmic path. So let's talk about what the Lionsgate portal is going to open up. The biggest part of the portal is tomorrow. That's when the height of the portal is, on the 8th. And it's talking about manifesting wealth. And this isn't monetary wealth always. It can be a wealth of knowledge. It can be a wealth of spirit. It can be a wealth of a fresh start. But it is a clearinghouse for a lot of, destruction and mayhem and all kinds of other stuff that happened before that we've been trudging through. And now we can discard that. We don't need that with us when we go through the portal. Everyone has a chance to go through the portal, every single soul. Just remember, don't try to take everything with you. Only take the things you need. Only take the things that are viable. Let me see what other message. If you guys have any questions, you can submit a request to speak about the 88 portal or the 888 this year. Just submit a request to speak and I'll put you on. Let me see what is happening with messages from the universe on the 888 Lionsgate that is happening tomorrow. Let's see what's going on. Let's see what other message we have. Okay. And again, I use regular playing cards like I do every day, and they mean nothing to anybody else, but to me, it's sort of a language with my higher self. And I don't know, it triggers images in my head, and this is how I work. Okay. The two camps that I see here, there's one camp that is going to be worried, be in a place of constant worry and just holding on for dear life and scared beyond and scared to go through the portal. What if it's worse? Trust me, it's not going to be worse. Nothing's going to be as bad as what you have imagined it to be. So that's one camp. The other camp here, they look to be, sort of the glass half full types. They see this path as, finally, this is my chance. And this opens up, this blossoms into these opportunities that they didn't have available before. And all you have to do is ask. Everybody makes manifestation so hard. Let me tell you the secret that I have found for manifestation. Things that are impossible to get, okay? I just feel, it's a fine line with manifesting what you think you should have and manifesting what is meant for you to have. Okay? And how do you know the difference? How do you know that you're asking for the right thing? Well, if you see certain signs, as soon as whatever that element is, that enters your life, if you see certain signs that resonate right away, you're seeing, 1111, or you're seeing 111, or you're seeing signs everywhere you look is something that is causing you to stop and reflect. Symbols of things that have personal meaning to you. Things aligning, like every time you turn around, it's aligning. If you're in a new job, for instance, and you're going into this situation, it's like everything is working. But how many people do you know, and I know this happens a lot with my clients, how many people do you know that go into a new job or a new situation like that, and they're constantly bracing themselves for the other shoe to fall? Constantly, like they're just waiting for that to happen. And that's what I'm talking about. The shoe's going to fall. Who cares? Just keep going. Keep going forward. Keep going forward, and you'll be protected. Stop worrying about trying to control the other shoe falling. Just go through the portal, go through that door, go through, absorb that energy field. It's a reboot. That's all it is. It's a reboot, reconfiguration, re energizing. That's what the portal is. Okay. So you're just absorbing this energy. It's like filling up with fuel. Okay. It's like plugging in and recharging your device. You are the device. Your soul is the device. Your mind, your body, all of that will sync up and be in alignment if you just let it. Stop worrying about the other shoe falling. It's not going to happen. A lot of times people manifest that. You're so worried about the other shoe falling, it manifests all by itself then. Guess who did that? You did that because you kept worrying about that happening. It's self-fulfilling prophecy time. You got to stop, and just go for it. You just have to go for it. And yeah, you might fail. It might be weird. You might make mistakes, but chances are really good that the universe is really digging that new energy you got going, and they're going to help you. That energy field, your angels, your guides, your spirit people will be hovering, and you will get assistance from every time you are feeling anxious. Every time something will happen to save it all. That's how you know. If you try to manifest things that are belonging to someone else, or if you try to manifest things that deep down aren't part of your path, but you're diverting your attention to it because it's easier to concentrate on that than to face what you agreed to do and what you came in to do, those are the things that you will not get signs for. You won't get these signs where it syncs up. You won't get these symbols of things that happen, like this dream state where dreams are aligning with reality. Reality is aligning with dreams. Where a lot of these images, these symbols, and this alignment is happening, and it's not a mistake. That's how you know the thing that you are causing to manifest is supposed to manifest. And I want you to understand that you're going to have help. That's the other thing that I got, the message I got about this 888. You're going to have help if you ask for it. If you ask the universe to help you be on the right path, that it's not just you by yourself. That's what I mean by, the Leo energy ego thing is triggered this time. This is what is front and center now, is that egocentric portal. And that's good for somebody who needs to actually who they are. But there's a point where it can become arrogance. It can become superiority. It can become power mongering. It can become destructive at a point. Because if it's all ego that's not pointing at someone else, helping someone else, pointing out there, shining light, illuminating others, helping to the collective consciousness, if it's not doing that and it's going only back into you and you're feeding you all the time, that's where it becomes a problem. And it will actually self-destruct. Kind of like Mission Impossible, when the tape self-destructs. That's going to be you if you don't point it outwards. It's got to be radiating 360 around you. It's got to be radiating up into the heaven below your feet. It's got to ground you. You've got to visualize like these light beams that are tethering you to the ground, grounding you. They go into the ground, they go up above your head, they go out from your body, through your arms, out into the universe. Visualize this. Tomorrow is the height of the Lion's Gate portal. And you can open up this stuff, just don't take everything with you. There's no need for all the stuff to come with you. You can leave it behind. You don't have to pack that in your bag. Leave it behind. You'll know what to leave behind. And there's no sadness with that. There's no sadness in leaving the stuff behind that doesn't belong on your new path. If it does belong on your new path, you will have received those signs, that synchronicity with whatever that is. It will show you by signs. You'll have dreams about it. You'll see numbers in succession, which will sort of resonate with that frequency. It'll be scary, but it'll be worth it. Again, if you guys have any questions right now and you want to ask personally about this portal, what's going on, what you've read, or maybe your own personal, you have a question, let me know. Just go ahead and submit a request to speak and I'll put you on. But as far as, just messages I'm downloading right now about 888, we're hearing a lot about this eclipse coming up in 4 days. And we're hearing about how this eclipse will be, it's basically going to break through the space-time continuum. I mean, it's, we're hearing a lot about this. But what it will do is it will cause a radical change in certain soul groups. Okay, certain groups of souls that were assigned to elevate this planet and elevate what's coming. And yes, there will be, you've heard about this karmic thing that's going to happen where there's instant karma. And you find yourself, and I just added Liz. Okay. So you find yourself with this instant karma thing. So Liz, did you have a question?
Oh, no, I was just gonna ask if this time period is supposed to be so it's good for people who are doing the work, who've done work, I guess meditation or forgiveness, release, whatever it is, journaling to try to get rid of shadows and all of that, right? And I guess, I'm not an expert. I've just been listening a lot to a couple people in the last few months.
Right.
And so I've been doing some of that more and more here and there because I've gone through many dark nights of the soul this year because it's been crazy this year.
Oh, I trust me, every single person I read, there's not
Hmm.
one person that hasn't been impacted by all of this year. Not one.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's been rough and very unexpectedly rough. So I'm just so, and I think I passed a lot of those, like stones, whatever they were. I hope. So are we anticipating more of that as we go into the eclipse time period, or
Well,
as more releases?
I think certain groups of souls will be sort of leading the rest of the souls, sort of illumining, the path with their lanterns and going forward, going on up ahead. And we see that they're leading us to a better balance with all of this, a better meaning for this chaos we've been living through, where the ego has just gotten out of control. I was talking a lot about ego because Leo is associated with the ego, with the self,
Hmm.
with that coming out in a bigger form where, and if you need more ego, let's say that you're very self-deprecating and you punish yourself all the time, the ego getting a healthy refresh reboot is a good thing. But there's a fine
Right.
balance there. You've got to make sure that you don't overcorrect and that the ego goes into an arrogance
Hmm.
or a sense of being superior to all of this, and you start taking advantage of all the codes that you've been discovering along the way. This is sort of ancient coding that we're allowed to be given at this point because we've sort of been doing the work and doing the ascension and progressing enough as souls that certain groups are being allowed access to the ancient coding, and that's what's happening now.
Hmm.
Some will misuse it. It'll become a misuse of power.
Or some won't even acknowledge. Like a lot of people have no idea.
Well, yeah,
We're a
and those
minority.
people that by accident come upon the coding, they will be scared of the coding. Probably it'll be a fear thing, you know.
Mhm.
But then
Right.
we have other groups that will have access to the coding and know exactly what to do with it, and they carry it, they protect it, they implement it correctly, where there is a balance. What it's going to do is start balancing a lot of the ego driven misuse of power, which is prevalent in many countries right now.
Hmm.
And what's happening is that will start getting a correction, and everything will be rebooted, realigned, and we should be in a good space with that. I mean, there's no one way to really hook into this energy field that I'm talking about that's coming up. It's just that you have to imagine you're allowing your fingertips to reach it. You're allowing yourself to absorb it, but you have to reach for it. It's not something where you hold on to your body tight and brace yourself.
Right. It's like reaching out for the train door. If you don't catch it, you're not going to catch the ride.
Perfect. Yes.
Right.
Yes. Perfect.
Yeah.
And you have to do it that way. Others find where you find yourself bracing and you find yourself closing off to all of it, and that's the incorrect way of approaching these portals, is closing yourself off and, oh, I'm just going to hide under the covers until it's over.
Right.
Well, that's not going to, you'll be in the same place.
Yeah.
And and if there is karma befalling you for something you have done to someone else or some harm that you've caused within the universe, and you have that instant karma, all it is it's not a punishment. It's just you'll be forced to realign then, and you
Right.
won't have as much help, much as much assistance as you would now. If you go through the portal, you'll have all the assistance you've ever wanted. That's the
Right.
difference. If you stay here on this side of it, you won't get the help. You cross through, you take a chance, you go for it, you're going to have so much help. You'll be so joyous and just so full of life and light. You won't even know what to do with yourself.
So just joining the whole experience is just saying
Allow
I
your, yeah.
claiming it,
hmm Allow your,
basically verbally. Hmm.
yeah, claiming it, allow yourself to accept it, allow yourself to just go for it, and stop seeking all the details like, oh well, I have to know every little thing about it before I do this because I don't trust it. That trust, it's got to be blind trust, guys, when you go through the portal. Blind trust. If you can have that, you'll have all the help you've ever wanted from the universe and more. You'll have more than you need. And I'm talking help on all levels. I don't care what it is. It could be about your health. It could be about your job. It could be about you finding, enough money to survive. Not only enough, but you'll have more than you need. It'll be about all of a sudden things start going your way. Blind faith going through the portal.
So today I did a ritual. I don't need to take up so much of your
Oh no,
space, but
trust me. I love when other people talk, and it's not always me. Um,
okay. I
so
did a ritual today, and I wrote down all of these things that I don't want, and then I burned them on like on a journal and a piece of paper,
mhm.
like that I don't want like to see because I learned I've
And
been watching like
how did you burn them?
I put them in a pot and lit it with a lighter, the
Okay.
paper,
Okay.
and then I just tossed it.
Okay.
Is that okay? I mean, I don't
Yeah.
know.
I mean, I'm just curious with everybody's, your format and how you guys uh, do your little rituals, because I think a ritual is very personal. I
Hmm.
think you should always follow your own sense of ritual, you know? So
Yeah.
I'm always curious, some people burn uh, the whatever's on the paper and they leave it like on a plate, next to a candle. Or some people rip it up into little shreds. They rip it up and then
Yeah.
they get rid of it that way. But you know, burning it in a pot keeps it in a sealed space so that the afterglow or the after effects aren't going to harm you. That's actually a good thing. I like that.
Okay. I heard it like there's a lot of these shows on YouTube. It's not like a Carl Jung, but it's like similar.
Hmm.
Do you know what I'm talking about? Where it's
Yeah,
like, oh, you just found this video because you were meant to,
yeah.
and there's like hundreds of them every like few hours. So it was just like like 7 or 8 things they said to do, and that was one of them. Also, like cleaning out like pockets of hidden stuff in your room or wherever. Um, just like deep cleaning, and then I saged and cleared.
Well, and my advice for this is, I was talking about it before. Like you need to clear the things that you don't need to take with you. Let's say you've
Hmm.
been collecting not just items, but collecting habits and stupid personal habits that you have that you don't need, and you keep asking yourself, why do I keep doing this? And you find yourself repeating these same things because you did it 30 years ago. Well, what's
Hmm.
the point of that? It doesn't make any sense to bring that through the portal. So you just to look at each thing as you're doing it and go, do I really need this? Or is this going to be part of the new me on the new path? And that's just going to be too time consuming. No, I do not need that. And those are the things you don't take with you. That's how
Right.
you know. As you go along your day, as instead of this thing where it's like, you're doing this ritual for 5 hours, instead of that, get other stuff done. Be practical about it. Get practical magic here. Get your other stuff done during the day. And while you're doing it, and you have a thought about something and you go, do I need to bring that with me? And then all of a sudden you'll have the answer to it. You'll go, no, I don't need that. Or yes, that will be helpful because of A, B, C, and D. Yes, that comes in my pack. And you'll find yourself paring down and discarding things you don't need. That's why they're saying all these rituals on TikTok and YouTube and all these other spaces. Because, I'm going to start doing the lives on YouTube soon. Talking about different things, but I'll probably just show my hands. But I have thoughts that you should actually be practical while you're doing this. Don't feel like it's a chore. You know,
Yeah.
does
Mhm.
that make sense to you? That
Yeah.
do it in the process of doing all your other things.
Yeah, I was saying I was feeling like, oh my God, what if I forget or I have to force myself because I'm like, obviously we deal with like we're exhausted out of nowhere with the Schumann or this or that, and I'm like all week I'm like I want to do these couple things and I'm just like too tired or whatever. I'm like I also don't want to feel like, oh, I didn't do it, I lost my opportunity to.
And that's what I'm talking about. It's like
Right.
no
Yeah.
rhyme or reason to this whole thing, guys. It's like make it practical magic. Make it where it's a practical thing you're doing during the day or the night. It's during all your other stuff that you have to do anyway. And all of a sudden you have a thought about this thing or this, you're doing something and you're thinking, do I need to bring that with me? No, I do not. Like I have severe OCD, right? And it's gotten a lot less severe this year. And what I've noticed is that I don't need most of that going out of here. When I leave here, I don't need that. It was helping me survive here and survive a few lessons that I had to learn, but I no longer need, you know. I
Yep.
think I'm getting a feedback from your speaker on your thing.
Oh,
Um, but that's what I'm saying. As you go through your day, you'll all of a sudden think of these things that you need to discard or take with you. Either one. You need to put it in your basket or you don't. And don't make it a chore, make it fun for yourself. Practical magic should always be fun. It should always be something that's joyful while you're doing it, and you shouldn't have to make it a chore where you dread doing it. God, what a terrible world that would be, to force yourself to have to do all the, that's stupid. It's supposed to make you feel enlightened, not like you didn't do something or make you feel guilt.
right.
Yeah. So do all the things you were doing that feel comfortable to you. If it's comfortable for you, but let me ask you about the pot. When you burn the piece of paper, did you destroy the pot too? I mean, I'm just wondering.
No, no. I only did it in a pod because I wanted to do it upstairs while I was cleaning, and I was like, oh, I'll just write real quick while I have I'm airing out my room,
Right.
and I just brought the pot with me. I was like, I could just throw it in here and it'll burn in there.
I was
Yeah.
just wondering if you like cook with that pot and you destroyed the inside of it, but that's all.
No, no.
Okay. Well, that's good.
Yeah.
And find yourself just, during your day, you'll think of other things. There'll be different things tomorrow. I always make myself a list and email myself a list as I'm thinking of things. If I happen to be at work doing my readings or whatever, I or and I add it to my list of things, and then I never bring that guilt with me where I've got to do all those things all in that next day. Whatever I don't get done the next day will go on the list for the following day. It's just, when I cross off the things and I email myself a new list. And that's all. You know, don't put the guilt in
But
it.
is there like there's no like cut, what's like the cutoff to like, I guess, because if you're still going into the
Get all this
eclipse,
done.
yeah, I mean,
I,
this is a
you know
portal, so
what?
it's
In my opinion, the portal is now, and this is where the opening begins. They're saying that it will shut off, and I'd say by the time we get to the solar eclipse and that whole situation, that's going to be an awakening. Okay. But I don't think, we have to stop then through the end of this year. That's sort of what I said to myself, that I'll move from this apartment by the end of the year. And I give myself a soft deadline with that, but I'm feeling like as we enter January 2027, that's where we start implementing with all the new stuff. That's where it's all fresh. So right now it's just the the cleansing, the discarding, the purging is
do you
right.
think this is also waking some people up that are not awake to like
I think so. I think it's
outside
making.
of the 3D?
That's a good question. I think that people that normally wouldn't ascribe to this type of thinking, they're pretty hardcore, oh, that doesn't happen. We only have one life. We will only
Right.
live one life, and that's it. And there's nothing out there when you die. There's nothing out there. It's all blackness. And then, you know, I
Yeah.
just I don't try to reteach people and go up to them and say, wow, I know different, so you have to believe what I believe. No, I just tell them what it is, and I say, look, if you want to, you know, maybe take that, maybe look at it later. That's what I have found. And if not, throw it away. Doesn't work for you. And the people that are meant to be part of the group that goes through with the lantern, through the portals, that are helping to sort of, I get them as like almost pillars of foundation that's going to happen in 2027. There's sort of like a pillar of foundation that's going to go on top of this. These people will be part of the builders, the ones that are building what the ego and the power, the misuse of power before. 2027.
2027.
Whoa, I'm hearing myself. That's you, Liz. Turn off your microphone. Yeah, there you go. Okay. So I feel like that is going to be the beginning. That's about the time frame. So just as you begin now, just on your regular day as you're going through stuff, if you don't have time to do it on that particular day, either do what I do, text yourself a list and just keep adding to the list. You know, just edit the list and take off each thing as you do it. But what I found is if you start inserting guilt into it and start dreading it, and it's a chore, and oh, I don't have time and I don't feel like it and I'm too tired to do this list, just make it part of your regular practical magic type of day. And all of a sudden your list is done, you had a good time doing it, and wow. So all of these rituals that are being taught out there on all these platforms, they're nice, they're good, and if you're meant to hear it and it actually makes sense to you, then do it. If it doesn't, smile at it and change the channel. You know? I mean, that's all it is. Just change the channel. There's no right or wrong. Like, for instance, I have never meditated a day in my life, and I do this for a living. I've never meditated. It's just not something, but I have music on all the time in here, like 24/7 almost. Um, except when I'm sleeping. I have music on all the time because I need that ambient noise behind me, but it needs to be music and not white noise. So everybody's got their little rituals. Everybody's got their little things that help them keep on track and keep in a rhythm. Um, but to harness yourself into a I have to do it by this time and give yourself a soft deadline, not a hard one. Sort of aim for the end of this year. That's what I would do. Any other questions, Miss Liz?
No, thank you so much. That was great stuff. Great
Well,
info.
and hopefully that made sense with some of the other stuff you've been listening to on the other channels. So, it'll help you sort of siphon through and sift through like there's a lot of stuff out there. You just have to know
Right.
how to respond to it, you know? Just have
Yeah.
an instant response to it. Just when you hear it, go, that's exactly me, and I could see myself doing that. And if it's not you, change the channel.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Like some of the rituals, I'm just like, okay, I'm not going to do that. I'll do this or that because it just feels like I've just become more, I'm like fairly new at embracing more of the spirituality on this angle versus anything traditional.
Hmm.
And so I just feel like doing actual physical um whatever practices or whatever it is with an intention behind it is really makes more sense to me now than ever that it would I would see a change.
Well, and a lot of this has to do with like past life influences.
Right.
With if you were in a past life that was Native American, let's say, and so saging makes a lot of sense for you because that resonates with you, or using rune stones because you were Viking, or using you know um, cards or crystals, or spell casting if you were a witch, or a natural witch, you lived in the forest, like whatever it was that was natural to you, you're going to gravitate towards it. And that's what the universe gives you, this whole potpourri of choices that you can go in and you can choose which thing that you like, you resonate towards, because chances are if you like it, you're going to keep doing it. If
Yeah.
it's comfortable for you as a person, you will keep doing it. If it's not comfortable for you, you probably won't keep doing it. And that's why there are so many choices. It's just that there's so much out there. You get inundated, flooded with these things, and you become overwhelmed. Anyway, so good stuff. Any other questions? Anybody else wants to speak? Go ahead and send me a request and I will get you on. And, just any questions you have about how, um, how this works as far as like a real person, like a lay person, trying to do this stuff. You don't have to do a ritual the way a ritual is written. You can tweak it to your own liking. I do that with spell work when I'm doing my own personal little spells for things, like to help my day go easier. I find that if I tweak it to something that is natural to me, that's when it's always right, and that's when it always makes sense. So I have little rules with that. Um, and you should always make it be something that is comfortable for you, that aligns with you, that's something that you would do versus something that sounds foreign that you would never do in a million years. So chances are you're not going to keep doing it. The whole idea is that you will keep doing these things. It will become regular practice for you to keep doing them. That's the only way they work, is if it becomes a regular routine. So anyway, let me see if there's any final message from the spirit realm about what's coming up for tomorrow for the 888 portal, Lionsgate portal. Pretty much focusing on Leo type things like the ego and the self becomes prominent. Okay, let me just see what I am seeing. And again, I use regular playing cards. You can see kind of like what I do. If you go on to my link tree, it says session guidelines, and it sort of outlines how I do this and why I use regular playing cards. And we see what's happening there. Janine, I just added you, sweetheart. Are you there?
Yes.
Hey, how are you?
Hanging in there. I missed most of your. I didn't even know that you were having anything tonight. I was like asleep since last night until like 3:45 today,
Oh,
and
wow.
like in a dream state, like totally out. It
Well,
was
you know
very
what? That's
what.
why there's platforms where you can listen. But as far as like when I'm going to post it, I
Mm-hmm.
usually try to get it in at least 4 hours before the thing begins. I'm also going to be doing one tomorrow with the astrology for this upcoming week, the astro predictions that I started doing for each
Right.
astrology sign. And then on Sunday, I'm going to have like a potpourri podcast for all the case files, like any case file you want to talk about.
Okay.
I'll do that, whether it's Brian Koberger, whether it's Nancy Guthrie, whether it's, any of the case files out there that or the ones that aren't known. You can ask
Okay.
about those. Okay.
Okay, that would be good.
All right.
So
So what's
it
your
was my fault for not checking earlier, but somebody contacted me because they were having issues. So, and I just like was like, okay, I had enough of this. Let me look. And then I was like, oh my gosh, look what time it is.
It's all right. So you're here now. What do you want to ask?
So with the Lionsgate portal and something specific I am supposed to do, like when it turns, like right before it turns 888, or when it turns 888, or do I just do what I need to do, what I
We're
normally
kind of
do?
because it started, what was it, July 26th, I think is when it opened up.
Right.
And, it'll still keep going. But the height of the peak of this will be tomorrow. So
Okay.
I would light a candle, guys. That's what I do. That's,
Okay.
I would light a candle. You can choose whatever color you want. I always do white candles because I just like white. So,
I have
white.
one in my hand.
Oh, good. All right, well, there you go. So,
So see?
so you're gonna do the white candle, and
Okay.
basically, use it as a cleansing device. That
Right.
white candle, focus on the white candle and use your hands to bring the light energy from the candle, without burning your hands, but like
Right.
around the candle, bring it up into your face, sort of like, again, it's almost like the Indian culture where, the native culture where they bring the smoke or bring the energy or bring the light into them.
Okay.
And use your hands in that motion where your palms are coming towards you with your fingers and your fingers are outspread. And bring all the energy to you that is meant to be with you. And then use your hands and turn them around and have your palms outward from you and take away that which I do not need.
Okay.
Let the universe decide which things need to stay and go.
Okay.
That'll help you with the cleaning process, by the way, Liz. If you use the universe to help you out, just, that'll be your sort of, almost like an automatic cleaning device, and it'll be automatic with the universe doing that. And then you'll tweak it with like different things that were left behind that you want to go through also. Okay, do I really need this? Do I not need this? So as far as any special ritual, I would just do that. Ask the universe for help, because once you go through and ask for help, you'll have more help than you've ever wanted or needed.
Great.
Okay.
Yes. Thank you. I planned in the morning. Well, I was going to light the candle tonight. I don't know.
Tonight is also good because,
Okay.
like I said, we're already in that energy. So doing it right before actually is good. Doing it right after is also good.
Yes. So I'll do that.
They make it, remember that time and our sense of time and calendar time is a human construct. So
True.
so remember that time is what we make it.
Okay.
And what we swirl around them. So, that's why some people don't seem to age and some people do. You know what I mean? I don't even know what day it is half the time.
So it's coming. I'm kind of like that myself now.
I have to have the phone here and like just to see what time it is for somebody's reading. But, I don't really follow the rules of time. Like sometimes I stay up, like last night I went to bed, but I was up for 2 days. I didn't sleep for 2 days.
That happens to me.
So that happens a lot. I'll recharge on the next day. But I don't put the guilt in there where I have to feel guilty about not sleeping. I just collapse into bed the next night then. But as far as you doing rituals and which ones and how you do something, ask the universe to help you with what to bring to you and towards you. And use your hands in that motion, bringing your palms in towards you from the candle and then out, away from you. Get this away from me. Get the things away from me that aren't supposed to be here.
Okay.
I'm actually sitting here doing that with my hands right now, and you can't see, but that's what I was just doing.
Okay.
And I looked very stupid, I'm sure. But I was, because I was doing my visual in front of my face here so I could see what I was doing. So anyway, that's what I would do.
Okay.
So use your candle. Candle magic is always welcome. Candle magic.
Yeah, I love my candles since I was a little girl. So
I have a feeling I worked with candles in other lifetimes too, because I, maybe I made my own candles as a witch person. I could have done that for sure.
Maybe.
Anyway, so let me know how that worked.
I will.
And how you feel afterwards, because once the universe helps you out with which things and they do sort of like that organization for you, then you feel like you accomplished something by the time that little ritual is over, and 5 minutes later you're like, oh my God, I feel so much lighter, so much better.
Okay. I will let you know, definitely.
Okay, my Janine.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Anybody else, you're welcome. Have a good night.
You too.
So I'm just going to ask if anybody else wants to ask any questions about how this process works. And if you do, get in here with the request to speak, and I will put you on. And just not doing anything, you know, but if you hear of a ritual or something you would like and you gravitate towards it, and you know there are parts of it that just aren't you, then replace it with parts that are you. You know, there's no rhyme or reason, wrong or right, as long as it's really you. Okay, and it's something that resonates with you, with your energy, then it's all good. I mean, I don't do the way thing, you know, I used to I was actually a piano voice major, so I was, when I was practicing piano, I would, it was like 5 hours a day in the rehearsal hall, and I found myself never doing the fingering the way that my teachers taught me. Like I never did it the right way. And they said, "How are you able to play this even? Because, you know, that's not the right fingering." I said, "I don't know, but it works for me." So, and they just never understood, because I would always learn things wrong. I would always, you know, and when I played pool, I would always shoot with my left hand. I would always do, and I'm right-handed. So I never did things the way that I was really taught. I always made them my own somehow. I always made the ritual very distinctly me, and that's okay. And it's worked all this time. I'm sure that the meanings I have for my cards don't make any sense to anybody else. And I used to use tarot cards long ago, a long time ago. And I have a lot of tarot decks in here actually. And the images were great. But for my particular gifts, the way that they work and the way that my vision works, the less visual distractions I have, the better. So regular playing cards worked. And that's what I first started out with, because it didn't give me any excess visuals. It just gave me enough to ignite that thought, and then I moved on to the next one. So these I ended up staying with. All right, you guys, it's been a little over an hour, so we can, unless somebody else has a question, I am going to wish all of you an 888 wonderful portal day tomorrow. And I'll have the weekly astro psychic predictions up sometime in the afternoon, and I will record those. And then Sunday we're going to do the live for just all the you know, any of the case files that are out there, like any of the cases in the news, Brian Kohberger, Nancy Guthrie. It's potpourri style, which means it's all of them. And if you have questions for those, start gathering. And I'll announce those on each day that it's happening. Just know that tomorrow is my astro predictions, and then Sunday is going to be the one for the potpourri. All right, you guys, I love you. I love you for stopping by here. And eventually I will get over to YouTube and do this thing where you can see my hands. I just have to figure out how I'm going to do that. And I will talk to you guys tomorrow. All right. Have a good one.